Hey everybody, thanks for showing up. I'm gonna go live here with Jamie Deering from Deering Banjos down in San Diego in a second. So hey everybody, I appreciate the waves. There she is. I think we did it. I think we pulled it off. We did it. How are you? Good to see you.
You too. Good. I hope everyone can hear me. I don't have a special mic on my camera, but
That's right.
yeah.
I think the iPhone mic is nicer than anything that technology has come out with in the last 100 years. So uh,
Loving them.
this is a wonderful mug. This is the second coolest thing I've got from you guys. It's just this is the fuel that keeps it going. So it holds a lot of coffee. That's important.
It does. I put soup in mine.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Maybe some
Yeah.
bone broth for our health conscious friends out there. You know, we have here too. So well, cool.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thanks so much for doing this, and we really appreciate having you on. So for those that are sort of new to kind of what we're doing here, what we started to try to do was just to kind of highlight people around our community that are super involved in what we do. You know, it certainly takes a village to help us out, and there's a lot that goes behind both musically and non-musically playing in a rock band. So with you guys being local, you know, just a couple miles down the interstate there, and us being obviously huge fans of your work, me growing up looking at Deering banjos and catalogs pretty much my whole life, it was pretty cool to be in the same place as you guys. So why don't you start by telling us a little bit about who you are, a little about the familial nature of the company. Obviously, you're Jamie Deering from Deering Banjos. I think most of our people can put two and two together there.
Yes.
But yeah, just tell us a little bit about what's going on there and the sort of the banjo culture down there in Southern California.
Yeah. I mean, my folks grew up in San Diego, born and raised. And in the 60s was a huge folk revival. And out here, we had the Kingston Trio, who were a local band. And
Yeah,
that, when my dad was 13 years old, he heard the first Kingston Trio album. And from then, it was all about banjo. And he
awesome.
learned woodworking from my grandfather. And in college, built his first banjo, and they started a family business from there. So I've grown up, it's in my blood. I've been part of production since I was allowed to work, and
Nice.
I love it. Yeah.
So, quick question for you, and I just thought of this, so I don't mean to put you on the spot, but this is a complicated instrument, right? It's not something you just put together. How long does your dad say it took him to get it right, and how long do you think it took him to get it right? Like, was that first banjo like right
That's a
on?
good question. There's layers to that question. In his mind, we're always striving to do even better.
Boom.
So he's constantly looking at ways to improve, and that's been the motto. You know, we've always done as best as we possibly can and try to take it a step further as we go. So, I mean, that's it. To us, it's never a done job because, you know, it's good to be innovative and go with the
Right.
times. And in music, just like in any artistic endeavor, people change in what they're looking for,
Hmm.
or they're inspired in a different way. And so we constantly get great questions of sounds that people want, or feels, or ways of playing that push the limit and make us then go, well, how would we make that?
Right.
And that's part of the process. Yeah.
That's awesome. I think that's part of what we're trying to do too. You know, it's super easy to kind of pigeonhole banjo into bluegrass or folky instruments. And a lot of stuff we try to do in the studios is use the unique characteristics the banjo gives off, like the harmonics and the sound and the stuff that you just don't get with anything else, but try to
Mm-hmm.
channel it in a way that's not, you know, Brevet does bluegrass, although it certainly sounds great like that, you know. But and you worked in artist relations previously, right? That was before you stepped up. Congratulations, by the way. So like what can you talk about some of the things that maybe you've seen the banjo change over time, like as it relates to the changing landscape of music?
Yeah, gosh, I mean, it's been quite rapid
Hmm.
because it's become more of a prominent instrument again, because back when electric guitars came out, they were louder, and that kind of took the place that banjo used to have in
Right.
bands. And now that we can amplify a banjo, we're seeing it in all different settings because it's a sound that nothing else does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very organic sound that hits at the soul. It's always been an instrument that brings communities together. And I'm seeing a lot of people now want lighter weight, but they still want the sound. So figuring that out, we've got a few models that they weren't even exactly planned to handle that problem, but they did.
Nice.
The Eagle 2 that you have was one of them.
Right,
It's
yeah.
several pounds lighter than the average bluegrass banjo because of the design, which was
Mm-hmm.
a secondary thing, and now that's a very popular thing. Especially with bands like you guys who are active on stage, you want to move around, and so
Right.
having a very 16-pound banjo is not comfortable if you do that. So that's one. Warmer tones right now is
Mm-hmm.
a big thing. Like a more of the deeper tones people are going for. So a lot more mahogany, thicker heads, different strings. That's been a big one lately. Yeah.
Yeah, what I super appreciate about the Eagle 2 that I have is it's very it's durable. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like it's an instrument that can get banged around a little bit, and as careful as we try to keep it, you know, during normal times we're on the road a lot, you know, and you might be playing a summer concert festival where it's 110 degrees outside, and then
Mm-hmm.
3 months later on the same run, you know, it's way colder. 6 months later in the same trailer, you're 17 degrees below zero in Minneapolis, you know. And the other thing the Eagle 2 does really nice that I certainly appreciate is it handles different tunings so well. You know, I've played a
Yeah.
couple different shows that don't do that. You know, it's a sensitive instrument, so I certainly, from my angle, appreciate the versatility of this particular model, and I'm sure the other Deering banjos do too. But I've had my hands on that one more than most. So
Yeah, the Eagle is especially versatile. You can play many genres on it.
mm-hmm.
Like it's not just a bluegrass sound, it's not just a rock sound, it's not just a folk sound, but it can actually work in all of those. And that's one of the reasons it's become one of our most prominent models.
And that works for me too because I've never been accused of being a bluegrass banjo player. So until I step up to
You can hold your own there, John.
yeah, so anyway, we'd be a little bit remiss to not talk about what's going on with this COVID stuff and how, first of all, how are things going down there with the operations, and like people have taken this time to sort of, I think, hopefully take up new stuff, take up new hobbies, and is there stuff that you guys are doing that if people have some downtime or people have some time at home to maybe jump into the banjo and get started learning something?
Yes, actually, when everything happened back in March, that was immediately our focus is, okay, what can we provide that will give people things to do at home with their instruments?
Mm-hmm.
Because we started getting a lot of messages of like, wow, I have time to actually practice and learn this instrument that I got a year ago.
And it
So
takes it takes time.
it does, and persistent. So a lot of people have been doing that, which has been quite therapeutic while we are going to be spending times in our home. And we started providing lessons, a lot of lesson material and maintenance, like care. You know, someone who hasn't taken their banjo out in a year might need to figure out how to restring it or things like that. So we did a bunch of
Right.
videos. If you go to our website, we have lesson videos on the main page. If you just scroll down, there's free lesson videos we started providing and pushing on our newsletter just so people can find them easily. And then we started doing Tech Live once a week where
Yeah.
Chad would get on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. And answer all the questions of how to take care of your banjo or get it back to how you wanted it or a new sound. And those are all, most of them you can, there's a couple you can get on Instagram. All of them are on Facebook if you scroll
Awesome.
through our Facebook page. So, and then YouTube is full of content to help, lessons, maintenance, everything, songs. And then some tab work, but that was our main thing is what can we provide people, you know, that would be helpful at this time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And is there a particular model you guys have that I think if someone's looking up and says, hey, I want to jump into this, like John Kingsley of the Brevet is my inspiration, I want to play banjo. You know, if they're not ready to jump into the Eagle 2 yet, what's a model that you guys have that you think would be a good starter model?
The most popular model that we have is our top seller, and it's the #1 teacher recommended is the Good Time Banjo.
Mm-hmm.
The simple maple. It's like blonde maple. Open back banjo is the perfect one to start on. It's lightweight. It's not a huge expenditure, but it will age well. It's one that even if someone who's learning moved on to a professional level, they keep it. It's their
Right.
camping banjo after that. It really is. It's amazing to watch. But that one is definitely where to start.
Awesome.
When you're
Yeah, and
yeah.
and it's cool for me because I grew up seeing those everywhere in Guitar Center and in catalogs and stuff. And just because, and also if anybody's watching and you have any questions for me or Jamie, feel free to type them in. The type is small, but keep it appropriate.
I can see them. I can shout out if someone has a question.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. There we go. It'll be an effort. But aside from dealing with such banjo heavy hitters such as myself in artist relations and in hotshots like me, you also deal with some, a lot of people, and you've got a Winston Marshall banjo either out or coming out, and a lot of our people are also Mumford and Sons fans. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? He's probably one of the more prominent.
Actually, I have one here.
Oh, great!
I just thought of it. I should have gotten it out of the case. Hold on. So this is just made.
Oh, beautiful.
It's ready to ship out. You can see it's got his name. It's probably backwards.
Yeah,
it's got the Union Jack.
Union Jack.
And the GOTR shield and the original Willis.
Oh,
it's all mother of pearl. Isn't that great? But this kind of goes along with the question that you asked earlier about how banjos evolved newly. Because Winston pushes the envelope in live shows. And this one has pickup system. It's got also an XLR jack for a mic.
Nice.
Put on the inside. And then you plug in here and 2 pickups. But it's also got controls.
Oh, wow.
So you can control the pickups independently to get that exact tone, because song to song, his sound is very different.
Absolutely.
And this allows him to do all of that without having to have 3 different instruments all the time.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to design this with him. He has very particular taste, but classic taste. So he went with the nice kind of vintage coloring, satin finish. I really like the way it came out. And it's really lightweight. Look at that.
You can tell that the touring guys are always the ones pushing for the lighter. Over time, it feels heavier and heavier and heavier. But no, that's amazing. The inlay work, when you guys graciously showed us around, that was kind of, I think, one of the things that stuck out to all of us was how cool your guys' inlay work is. That the Winston, that you've got the Union Jack and his name on there, so that's pretty awesome.
But we love it. Yeah,
cool.
This was just released last year, and it's been really a lot of new innovation with the sound that people are reaching towards. So it's totally well timed. We just need everyone to go back on the road now. And
when they let us go, we're all about it. We can't wait. Although we have done, this time has been nice for us to be able to write and create, and it's given me more time practicing on the banjo so I can represent you guys well. I hope. But so what's your favorite Brevet song? I'm gonna put you on the spot here a little bit.
Honestly, everything you guys played here live, Silver and Gold, is just like, it just sticks there, because I got to really hear it right there, like 10 feet from you. It's such a good song. Well, and the banjo is so great.
Yeah, Eric crushes it with everything, but he did well with that one. On their website, there's a series called the Woodroom Sessions, and if people watching are unsure what we're talking about, that's what we did. We're going to be posting that on the Brevet today or tomorrow, so keep an eye out on our socials for that. And well, Jamie, unless you have any other questions for me or anything else you want to give a shout out to, or if anybody else has any questions. I saw somebody from Barcelona, Spain, bought a Good Time Americana a few weeks ago, and I'm so in love with the banjo. Congrats, Deering. So, nice.
Awesome.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go
So
for it.
for all of the people who are looking to play, because I also know you are a very good music teacher. That's how we
Mhm.
met through April.
Absolutely.
Um, what, as a teacher and a professional player, do you recommend for anyone who is learning or looking to learn?
The biggest thing I would say is just trust the process. You know, it can be hard to do in the beginning, especially with an instrument like banjo, you know, where it's,
Mhm.
and a lot of times, you know, I came to the banjo as a guitar player, and it took a really long time for me to get out of that guitar player mentality. You know, I was trying to play the banjo like a guitar, and because it's so similar, but they're fundamentally different instruments. I mean, and that led to a lot of frustration for me in the beginning. And I think if I had looked back and just allowed myself to be frustrated with it and enjoyed it a little bit more, it would have been great. You know, and I probably would have made lot more progress a lot faster.
Hmm.
If you pick it up for the first time, just enjoy the beautiful sound the banjo makes. You know, get it in tune. Let's tune it.
Yeah.
Play, just play the open strings and let it roll, and then put your finger on the fret and till it gets a good sound. And it doesn't take much to get rolling on it, you know, and then stick with it, and don't forget to have fun playing. You know, I have a teacher who I work with a lot, and he'll tell me that, you know, and you go through different practice sessions, or I have licks I'm trying to work on, or some stuff brevet related, some stuff not brevet related. I'm trying to get faster. I'm trying to get more melodic. But he always says to just give yourself some time every day to play. You know, give yourself some time every day to not worry about building a skill. So just sit down for 20 minutes and play the banjo, you know, because if
Yeah.
you can't do that, then what are we doing it for? You know, just enjoy playing until your roommate knocks on the door and tells you to stop. So
That's a very good answer, and it's very true. And there isn't a wrong way to play either. So don't beat yourself up if you find your own sound and
yeah, and it's, you
creativity.
know, everything a teacher says is a suggestion. You know, everything a teacher says is how they've done it. Doesn't mean it's necessarily the way you have to do it. You know, and as long as it makes you happy playing it, that's the point. You know, that's the whole idea. It's so you're able to express yourself in a way that makes you happy. It doesn't really matter who else likes it. You know, it's just, especially when you're getting started. You know, so stick with it. Couple minutes a day. You know, a couple minutes a day is. But I always tell beginners is 5 minutes a day is better than 30 minutes every 6 days. You know,
Yeah,
if
that's true. That's
you
very
can
true.
get, if you everybody's watching TV and Netflix these days. Practice during the commercials. Pick a TV show and practice during the commercials. If you can practice
Yeah.
during the commercials, you're having 15 minutes a day in, and you don't even realize you did it. You know, so there's all kinds of little tips and tricks like that, like you mentioned on your website. And now is a better time than ever to learn anything, because like YouTube for anything, not even a musical instrument,
It's
how to
true.
fix thing. You know, is
I watch a lot of gardening videos.
yeah. Well, I'm still limited to fake plants from Home Goods, but I haven't managed to kill those yet. So, but yeah, you know, just now there's no better time than now in terms of resources. So dive in, keep what works for you, and there's kind of no wrong answer.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's a great answer.
Yeah,
Love it.
well, awesome. Thanks. Well, thank you so much for coming on, taking time out of your busy day to do it, and send your best to my best to your parents and everybody else. Tell Chad I said hey, and when this comes down, I'm gonna have him go down there and or go down there and have him clean my eagle up here a little bit. So
Not a problem.
sounds good. Bye, Jamie. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, great to see you.
Sweet. Thanks. You too. Take care.
Ciao.